Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world far beyond magic and miracles, where there's an incredible energy on the planet right now that is full of everything we need: healing, abundance, love, light, truth, all delivered with a gentle flow. And that's been my experience the last few days, is this gentle flow, and actually a sense of fluidity, a sense of moving like water. And that's because the spirit is coming more forward and the physical is leaving or becoming less forward. So as you hold on to things in the physical, like even a chair, they aren't really supporting you. And if you hold on to a thought, it disappears very quickly if it's connected to the physical dimension. That fluidity that is your spirit, that is your being, has no grounding. It's everywhere, and it's constantly moving like water, floating down a riverbed. And it's starting to dominate our awareness, so that the beings that exist in that field and the magic that exists in that field, we're seeing quicker than we ever have before. And the things that are physical are just disappearing. We really can't hold on to them. And if someone asks you, how are you? You just say, good. You don't, there's no explanation or what's going on. You say, I don't know. Because unless the transmission is happening that moment, it's gone. And you can't bring it back. So fluidity, it really is like it's adaptable. It's like water that just moves through and past and around everything. And it's a great feeling because you find that you're not aware of the things that you used to be aware of. And at times you may feel a little loopy as you go back and forth. But that's becoming less of a concern, especially as you know what's happening. I thought about how I used to say when I spoke to someone, or when I was having a conversation and they were sharing something with me, how it was easy to say that's your perspective. And for some people, that was difficult to hear because they felt like their perspective was the only perspective. But we all see as we can see. And to stop and think of all the levels that exist about something even as simple as a plant. So that almost no one knows the full story. They see a bloom, they see a flower, they see a root, they see soil, but only the plant knows the full story. So the layers of information that are here now can overwhelm. And there may be no one on the planet who knows about all of it until it is delivered. So it's your own awareness, your own communication, your own knowing. That's the only thing that is real. And it may be that you're the only one that can know that reality at that moment. I think about a company of 5,000 people with a CEO, and the janitor tells someone, I think they're selling the company. And it spreads through the company. And there's so many layers of what is true. And most people are on a need to know basis, so that the CEO and the board that runs the company and the one who financed the company and the one who finances the company may be the only one that knows if the company is being sold and why. And somewhere down the line, one of those entities may have sent that information out just to cause a reaction or to produce a result. So it's amazing how in depth the layers of information and knowing, and how it feels like in a moment you have the full picture. And in essence, you do. It's the full picture for that moment. But just as someone or no one may know why you decided to have eggs this morning, except you, there's always more. And there's always more people who are aware of information that you may not be aware of. And we know that there's such a galactic presence here because things are moving so quickly. And we know that they see things in a dimension that we may not see. And yet, even they may not know the fullness of what is happening in a moment. So we can be excited about everything that's happening. And we can also know that there is so much that is unknown. I also feel like what's happening inside of each person is a mirror for what's happening outside. That within your own being, throughout your life, there have been multiple presidents. There have been politicians. There have been those that come and try to get a bill passed. There have been health scares, viruses. But all these things happen inside of us. To come to a place of freedom where you might be able to say, I don't care what anybody thinks about what I say. You have just removed a president. You have just changed governments. And I say that that freedom cannot be compared to anything because it is the greatest freedom that you will ever experience. Not that the government outside of you is changing or not changing, but the government inside of you is changing or not changing. And all those things that happen inside of you, when you experience them, they're incredibly overwhelming, because it may be something that you've been struggling with for years or decades to overcome. A belief, a teaching, a guru, a government. What's thought of you? These things are huge, and they're playing out in a bigger arena. But that freedom transcends everything outside of you. That freedom lets you know who you are, gives you peace, gives you the ability to love unconditionally, and gives you the freedom and the power to stand in front of anything outside of you, because you have overcome what's inside of you. So this mirror is there for everyone to see. And most will have a slight awareness of the things that are happening inside themselves. That is a gift. That is a gift that belongs to each one of us. And your future can only be brilliant once you are free in that place inside yourself. It will only be temporarily brilliant if it's based on what's outside of you. So perspective, seeing something from much further back, than is normal, pulling way back, where you begin to see that the milkman delivered the milk, because a businessman wanted to make money and had to pay another businessman who was stealing from another businessman, from another businessman, so that it's never as simple as it appears. To me, that's incredible. So that everything is possible. And there are many, many timelines for what may happen next, and the next moment, and the next moment. Because it's being worked out from a place far above the milkman. And we are the ones working it out with others. And will continue to be the ones that work it out from far, far away from here. Versus, I see the game now, pitting one against another in the race to accumulate wealth and abundance of power, beauty, money, health, recognition, and love. Versus the righteous versus the unrighteous, the woke versus the unwoke, man versus woman, black versus white, rich versus poor versus child, brother versus brother, sister versus sister. There must always be winners and losers, and there must always be someone who is right and someone who is wrong. Prison, prisons. These are all prisons, and we are all prisoners of the game of life. Not prisoners of life, for life asks nothing of you. It just appears every day for you to live it. It does not foster an environment of competition. It says, I live in the flow where all is perfect. The seasons come and go, as does the cycle of life and death, and there is never an energy of resistance, for nothing in life is versing anything else in life. Pablo Picasso said, the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. This is all there is, a simple truth, unburdened by thoughts of gain or recognition. For what does it profit a man if he gain the whole world, but loses his awareness of himself as spirit? That quest is laden with verses. For to gain the whole world, someone must lose it. To be right, someone must be wrong, and so on and so on. But to be truly free is to leave this game of life that is built on comparison and verses. There are those beings that don't belong here that we are versing. But but we can only defeat them by being out of the game and free. These beings you will hardly ever see in the physical. They are the ones who have created the game. They are the ones who roll the dice and move the tokens around the board by disseminating information so that you can use your energy to fight against their minions on this giant game board of life. These minions are then just like you and me, stuck in a game that makes them exist in a world of versus until they take their token off the board and become free. So to the game, I say, I see you. Your days are numbered, for I am proclaiming to the world the truth of your strategy and the reality of your existence. Therefore, you can no longer hide in the shadows of men's heart, for you will be seen for who and what you are. And as each person removes their token from the board, the Son of God will once again come forward in their being, and freedom and harmony will rule. And the game of you versus me and us versus them will be no more. Seed of creation. I saw a man today sitting in the seat of creation beyond the outer reaches of the universe. He spoke to the world, and his words were like the sound of your favorite song, the song that makes you explode inside and dance, even if you are sitting down. The vibration of the words were beautiful, colors of violet, pink, blue, and gold. And the vibration and the colors went deep into my being. The face of this man was glowing, and it shifted between human and non-human as it sparkled in the golden light of the sun. As he sat and spoke, the wisdom of the ancients was delivered to all the worlds. He spoke in soft and gentle tones, the way that someone who is able to see all that exists and all that has ever existed would. He spoke without a sense of urgency, yet at the same time with an incredible sense of excitement and expectation. Assuredness was the feeling he transmitted. He only mentions life's challenges in passing, as though they never really exist. Instead, he constantly reminds us of the magnificence of the human entity and each human's incredible ability, power, and magic. The words were delivered as if from a friend, never for a moment giving any sense of hierarchy or separation, but with an understanding of each one's journey and the magnificence of their being. Honor, respect, and love rode side by side with the delivery of the words, so that if you never heard one word, you would still know what was said. And I heard this man say to all humanity, "This is what you do, and you are about to do it as it has never been done before. Greater things than these you will do. For just as a father speaks to his young son and answers a question about life with the wisdom full of love, while at the same time knowing that the son will one day surpass the father, so too is it for this man who sits in the seat of creation." He is delivering wisdom and truth, but most importantly, he is delivering the future, a future that can only be seen from the future by those who reside in the future. And once delivered, you too have now entered into that future with the same wisdom and love to pass on to all humanity. For now, you too are sitting in the seat of creation. And now, as his essence is filling this moment, we are reminded that this one is that one who stands before you in the great hall and says, please dance your dance. Please share your gifts with us and the world, for that is why you came. For it is from the great hall that he delivers his unconditional love to all humanity. It is with great love, honor, and respect that I deliver these words. And the best way I can think to honor my friend is to leave you with a smile in my heart as I say, love each other like you've never loved before. And by ending this broadcast with these 7 words, thank you for listening. I am David.